Hello, I'm Scott and you're watching Your Experience Guide. Now, whilst I'm between two trips, I thought it was a good time to sit down and have a chat about the river caves. It's been a little bit of a while since a video about this subject, and of course, it is something that us Pleasure Beach fans are all keen to know more about. For context, the river caves has been closed at the Pleasure Beach now since March. It did open for the first 2 days of the season, but not without a couple of problems. On both of those days, it did have a bit of downtime. But since then, it has not reopened at the Pleasure Beach. When it comes to the Pleasure Beach, there is always rumours about everything, and the river caves is no different. Now, the following things we're going to talk about are all rumours, and those rumours are that the river caves is closed due to a leak, or the river caves is closed due to an issue with the trough, which probably points towards the leak, or river caves is closed due to Pleasure Beach being unable to source a part that they need to fix the river caves. Those are the three rumours that keep coming back when anyone mentions the river caves. Now, to be fair, all of them could be true or none of them could be true. Since there has been no announcement from the Pleasure Beach as to why the river caves is closed, no pun intended, these leaks were always likely to happen. Whenever anything like this happens at the Pleasure Beach with a ride closing for a sustained amount of time, there is always rumours about why that is, what the future holds for this attraction, and obviously all this is happening with river caves. There's the talk of the leak, the trough issue, the part issue. There's talk that this ride is going to be closed forever, never going to reopen. There's talk that it's going to be reimagined and refurbished in the way that Valhalla was. There is just so many different rumours out there, and that all comes from the fact that there is no official reason for this ride to be closed other than it's closed for planned maintenance. Now, whether that's true or not at this stage, nobody really knows. And that is why I think everybody wants some sort of announcement from the Pleasure Beach about this subject. But whilst we wait for that announcement to come, well, we might as well speculate about what's going to happen. So here's a couple of my predictions as far as the river caves are concerned at the Pleasure Beach as of August 2024. So starting off those predictions, I'm going to say that I don't think the river caves will ever reopen as it is. I think in its current form, I don't think we're going to see the river caves open again. I think Pleasure Beach are hopefully going to use this opportunity to give it a full refurb and then reopen it. But again, goes back to the issue of until there's a statement about what's going on, we don't know. But that's my prediction. I don't think it's going to reopen in its current form, because if it was, why would it have been closed since March? Secondly, I don't think the river caves will be removed. It may well sit there forever and never reopen. It may well end up with a construction wall around it. It may well never move again, but I don't think it will be removed. The main reason for that is Wallace and Gromit. The river caves and Wallace and Gromit use the same space. They are basically wrapped around each other. If you've ever done Journey to Hell at the Pleasure Beach and you've walked through the Hell tunnels, I think they're called, you will have literally walked past both the river caves and Wallace and Gromit. Back in 2015, we did a complete walk round of Wallace and Gromit. That was part of our Pleasure Beach experience, Club Pleasure Beach days at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. How many times can a man say Pleasure Beach in one paragraph? There we go. Question for everyone. But yeah, moving on. We did a walk round of Wallace and Gromit back in 2015, and you could literally hear river caves right next to it. You could hear the water, you could hear the audio, you could hear the boats going round. So these rides are literally linked, they're locked like this, they're so close together. So to remove river caves would cause so much disruption to Wallace and Gromit to the point where you'd maybe have to remove both of them. And I don't see that's going to happen. So I think that they will be able to work on river caves whilst Wallace and Gromit's open, but I don't think they'll be able to remove river caves without removing Wallace and Gromit. And it's worth remembering, back in 2010 and 11 and 12, the gold mine, now Wallace and Gromit, closed quite a lot for work to be done on it whilst the river caves remained open, and eventually that ride was refurbed into what we know now as Wallace and Gromit's Thrill-O-Matic. All while that was going on, the river caves stayed open. And lastly, this is more of a response to comments I've seen online about this rather than a prediction. I don't think it's got anything to do with the Grand Prix being closed and getting removed. I just think it's two separate cases, and I think that the Grand Prix removal, they will have something in mind for that, but I don't think River Caves is anything to do with that. So I've seen a lot about it, but I do not think there's any connection between those two rides being closed at the same time. So moving away from predictions, this is what I hope that they will do with the River Caves. Now, firstly, I hope it doesn't sit closed forever, because we've already lost enough rides from Pleasure Beach. We don't need to lose any more without a direct replacement. And I've already given my thoughts on why I don't think that the River Caves can just easily be replaced. So what I would like to see is a big refurb on the scale of what they did with Valhalla. Big reimagining, new boats, get someone in to do the theme in there as well. So firstly, I'd start with obviously fixing whatever the issue is with it, whether it is a leak, whether it's the trough, whether it's both, whether it's needing more parts. Sort it all out, give the whole ride a refurb, get some new boats on it, get a new ride system on it, and completely modernize it. And that puts you in an immediate position where you can advertise, we have a new ride. On top of that, I'd be looking to get in a company like Sally Dark Rides, who have so much expertise in projects like this, where they go in and revamp an old attraction with new animatronics, new scenes, new theming, or they do it from scratch with new attractions. I've seen their stuff at IAPA expos in the past. I've seen some of their attractions in parks. They do an incredible job with dark rides, and I think their work on something like the River Caves would elevate it to a world-class dark ride, something that we seriously lack in the UK. In terms of the theme, I'd be looking to keep it very much the same. It's the River Caves, you're going around the world in 90 days through different scenes from different parts of the world, but with modern theming, animatronics, bring it up to the modern day, make sure nothing in there is going to offend anyone, make sure it's all correct and proper, telling a story about travelling around the world. I think that would be a great update on the current River Caves. And I'm not for 1 minute suggesting that the current River Caves is offensive. I'm just suggesting modernising all the current scenes and keeping it to the theme of going around the world in 90 days, but with modern scenes and modern storytelling. And of course, new audio from the notable stranger. And finally, in terms of what I would do with the ride itself, give it a new facade, make it look presentable, and just make it look amazing. That, I think, is going to cost a lot of money, but it's been closed for a long time now. In my opinion, it won't reopen as it is. I think they're probably going to spend some money on it to refurb it, re-theme it, reimagine it, however you want to call it. But that's where I think it's going to go. I think it's either going to get closed down forever and just sit there, or I think they're going to spend a lot of money on it to bring it up to scratch and get it back open. How long that'll take, who knows, but I hope that that's what they do with it. In the meantime, what I would really like to see happen is for Pleasure Beach to come out and make a statement about the future of the River Caves. Is it closed permanently? Is it going to reopen this year? Are you refurbishing it? What's going on with the River Caves? With that said, I don't think that anybody is owed a full explanation from any theme park or amusement park why an attraction is closed. However, it's worth considering that season pass renewal time is almost here. And last year, when everybody renewed their season passes for the Pleasure Beach in 2024, they didn't know that the River Caves would be closed all season. They didn't know the Grand Prix would be closed, and they didn't know Ice Blast would be closed. So I think it would be fair for Pleasure Beach to come out with some sort of information about the River Caves and Ice Blast, just to explain if those rides are ever going to reopen and what the current thinking is with those. Things change. They might well tell us one thing, it might change. This does happen in all walks of life, things change. But I think with season pass renewals coming up, it will be fair to get an updated bit of information about these attractions other than they are closed for planned maintenance. That's all from me today in this video, but before you go, please let me know in the comments section below what you would like to see done with River Caves and Ice Blast at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. And also please hit the like button, it's a little thumbs up below, it really does help the channel going forward. Many thanks for watching, I'll see you next time.